Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal and you are watching The Mojo Story. Diljit Dosanjh has rarely been at the center of a controversy quite like this. His latest film, Satluj, based on the life of a rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra, finally reached audiences after a 4-year battle with censors, multiple title changes, and more than 120 suggested cuts. But within just 2 days, it disappeared from Z5 in India. Diljit responded defiantly. On Instagram, he wrote, I challenge the darkness and suggested what happened to Satluj echoed what happened to Jaswant Singh Khalra himself. During an Instagram live today, he said he had anticipated film's removal and expressed happiness that people had already downloaded the film and were organizing community screens. His message seemed to be simple that once something reached the internet, it cannot really be erased. And it seems that prediction has come true. There are downloaded links reportedly circulating widely. And there was also one viral video, at least one viral video, people in a village in Punjab watching the film together on a giant screen, which had gone viral. Uh, so, but beyond the controversy lies a much bigger question. What really happened during Punjab's militancy years? Does Satluj faithfully portray history, or does it tell only one side of the story, which is far more complex in a conflict zone? Uh, to discuss this, I am today joined by a former senior Punjab police officer, uh, ADGP Gurinder Dhillon. Welcome to Mojo Story, Dhillon Saab. Uh, I want to ask you directly in this beginning, have you watched Satluj? If yes, how accurately do you think that film portrays the Punjab of that era?
So, good evening, Jafar, and good evening to the viewers. At the very start of it, I want to say that I have not seen the movie.
Hmm.
I was about to see yesterday on Z5,
Hmm.
but before I could start, I think half an hour before that, it had been removed from the OTT.
Hmm.
So, yes, I have not seen it.
Yeah, right. So you have not seen it, but obviously it was uh, taken down uh, days after it was released, and that's what led to this entire issue. But what do you think make of this renewed controversy that the film took such a long time, multiple times the titles were changed, and finally it was released only to be taken down in India while rest of the world can watch this movie?
So, see, at the very outset, I would first like to raise 2 points.
Yes.
The issue is not that one agrees or disagree with the film.
Yeah.
The real issue is whether a mature democracy can merely suppress the film based on
Right.
some speculation or apprehensions of law and order issues.
Right.
Secondly, other major problem with the thing is the generational gap.
Right.
Those who are around 60s, maybe 55 and above,
Right.
and those who are young adults or below 32 something,
Right.
their perception about the movies in a connected world through social media is totally different.
Right.
So I feel the perception of seeing that movie, which is based on some stated facts which are already on record, and there has been courts, investigation agencies which had handled the
Yeah.
matter. So it is based on some facts. Therefore, the feeling that the movie will cause some chaos or law and order or peace and order issues, I think that is uncalled for, because the younger generation, whom now we call Gen Z or now the Alpha generation, I don't think they will worry much about it after seeing. The second point is, do we want to conceal from our younger generation the aberrations which took place in 20th century when we are in the 21st century. And another point, when in this interconnected world, we have, as you were referring to, social media, then sufficient communication tools, apps, and everything, and the facility to download and see movie at their own houses. I think if it was on for 2 3 days in India, and now it is
Yeah,
still on all over the world, I think
yeah,
removing it from the OTT is counterproductive.
yeah,
Rather, it has raised more discussion and discourse on social media, whether it is Facebook, whether it is Twitter, or other handles, social media handles. I feel, as having the experience of about 3 decades in handling, and I have seen, because I was then in Amritsar during those days, having seen both sides, the 20th century of the 80s and the 21st century, now we are in 2026. I feel it is unnecessarily. And one point I'll also like to add one more point. I remember around 96, when we were working on all these issues, there was one movie called Matches which was released.
yes,
And
yes,
state police, headed by Shri KPS Gill, there was a lot of hue and cry that this movie should be stopped, this and
mm,
that, because Punjab had just come out of terrorism or militancy, whatever you call, on both sides of the aisle. I, in one of the meetings, had then also said, let's not let's not look into much of the movie. Let's look into the reality issues. So I remember that movie was released, everybody saw it, it became popular
mm,
also, and
mm.
nothing changed. So here we have historical background, and above all, this government need to understand that we are now in 21st century.
Right. And Marches was a film, Gulzar film. It had extremely popular and super hit songs. But do you think attempts to restrict a film in the digital age, as you were pointing out, actually end up increasing curiosity and viewership? If, say, for instance, uh, not all people would have known that there is a film like Satluj which has been released on the OTT, but because it has been banned now, it has been taken away, removed from the platform. More and more people will be curious to know about the film, to watch the movie.
See, one more point is, I do agree that whenever a movie gets surrounded by some controversy or some discussions or ban or other things, they do get more response from the people who want to watch it. But at the same time, about this movie, Satluj, it was
Yeah,
earlier named Punjab 95. And
yeah,
the person, main character in it, Mr. Daljit Dosanjh,
yeah,
he is known all over the world,
yeah.
rising from a village and going up to Coachella, and
Mm,
then his viewership all over the world. Whatever
mm,
it says, it goes to
mm,
every corner of the world, and more so Indian, Punjabis to be specific. And now Punjabi diaspora is all over the world. You go to any corner. So
mm,
if we are considering only this part, that movie is taken off from OTT in India, it is
mm,
moving about. Nothing, there is a uh, proverb, कि Billy, the cat is out of the bag. So issue is why we are causing loss to even Indian OTT or film industry, when the new generation, which we call Gen Z, they are not bothered much about after watching the movie. If it had been so, after watching two Dhurandhar movies, which I have also watched, have we seen anybody going to Pakistan border and stand there and say we are going to come and fight with you? So the problem is the government sometimes depends too much on speculation and structured inputs. They don't take
no,
360-degree inputs,
but but
and
but
that's the
they say
problem.
that, there could be security concerns. Punjab has stabilized, there is peace in that state, but off and on we come across terrorist incidents, there is also a propaganda machine that's constantly working. And this could just become a catalyst or a fuel for that machine to propagate its narrative again, and even to a generation which is born and brought up in peace times.
See, I want to add to this, and I am not saying out this just out of just speculation or not knowing the subject. I have the experience of handling this issue. Now, I want to say what India was in 80s is totally different. What Punjab was in 80s is totally different. That generation grew up in insecurities. They saw violence. They were different. Their education system, their exposure to the world was totally different. Now in 21st century, the generation now who has grown up in a secure nation, fourth or fifth largest economy in the world, well connected world, a well exposed generation. I don't think, because you imagine when in 80s Punjab police was just 25,000 force. Now this
Right,
force is around 80,000. The
right,
total annual expenditure Punjab is, spending on police is 10,000 crores. And now another data, Indian paramilitary forces and state police forces combined together becomes the largest state law and order handling force in the world. And we are not a weak nation anymore. I think instead of believing on all these things, we are a population of 1.47 billion, very well educated, economically advanced, very well exposed to all kind of things. We shall not feel, the government shall not feel that insecure. I know very well that it is not, heavens will not fall if this movie is allowed. So I would like this producer of the film or director, Mr. Train, to just go in before the honorable courts. And I am very sure the wisdom of the honorable courts will guide him. And I am sure they will allow this film to happen. Because till the governments for the governance start taking unstructured inputs, they are going to take decisions like this, which are not well informed decisions.
right. The film is based on Jaswant Singh Khalra, the man you see on the screen, a human rights activist. And Diljit Dosanjh actually uh, posted on the Instagram. He posted a small clip of the film on the Instagram with the text on the video. I challenge the darkness, and compared the fate of the film with that of Jaswant Singh Khalra. Do you think the comparison is fair, or does it overstate the issue?
See, Jafar, one thing is my thought process and your thought process, and Daljit's thought process will be totally different. He is part of the movie. He has the lead role in it. His emotional outburst will be totally different than many of us. So I don't totally disapprove of what he is saying. And we also sometimes do like that when we are on social media X handles. Sometimes do give emotional reactions on social media. Now, I totally feel that whatever he's saying, it is his saying. And if he's saying nothing is changing except that he's highlighting an issue, no doubt, Jaswant Singh Khalra did some work. He died during that period. There is a CBI inquiry. There was a trial. There are convictions. And in 95, I myself was posted in Amritsar as police officer. And I know more facts than what I could say, and I will never be able to say. But I still feel the feeling of those who are above 55 or around 60 will be totally different than those who are now young adults. We are the youngest nation in the world. Those who are young adults below 32, 33, our reactions of that generation is totally different than what the elders react on it. But at the same time, another point which comes out of it is that we are unnecessarily blocking talented artistic work. And not only we are raising the discourse level and creating a lot of hue and cry on the social media, but at the same time, without proper understanding, we are also damaging OTT media as well as film industry, because again I am saying, repeating myself, sorry, that when we have a 1.47 billion population, we are the youngest nation in the world. 60% of our population, more than
Right.
60% is young population. Why can't we
Right.
allow artistic work to move on so we become world leaders in it?
Right. Let us hear what Diljit Dosanjh said before we move on.
ਬਹੁਤ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਹੈ, ਫਿਲਮ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਗ੍ਰੇਟ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜੀ, ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਬਸ ਆਹੀ ਸੀ ਜੀ ਗੱਲ। ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖੀ ਮੂਵੀ ਹਲੇ ਬਾਈ। ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਾਈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖੀ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਚੱਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ। ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਕੋਲੇ ਹੁਣ ਡਾਊਨਲੋਡਡ ਆ ਮੂਵੀ। ਆਈ ਨੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੰਡੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੰਡੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਡਿਲੀਟ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਜੋ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਖੁੱਲੂਗਾ, ਪਰ ਸੰਡੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਗਏ। ਚਲੋ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ, ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟਡ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਭਾਜੀ। ਭਾਈ ਸੀਡੀ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ। ਬਸ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਬਾਈ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ, ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਬਾਈ। ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਲ ਇਸ਼ਾਰਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਬਾਈ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਉੜ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਫਿਲਮ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ, ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟਡ ਸੀ। ਘਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ ਭਾਜੀ ਫਿਲਮ। ਯੈਸ, ਘਰ ਅੱਜ ਜਸਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲੜਾ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ 1995 ਚ ਵੀ ਦਬਾਇਆ, ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ 2026 ਚ ਆ। ਯਾਰ ਕਮਾਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਹੱਦ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸਾਡੀ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ 2026 ਚ ਜੀ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਖੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯਾਰ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੋਰਟਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਉਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਕੋਈ ਨਵੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਫਿਲਮ। ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਮਝ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਗੱਲ। ਕਮਾਲ ਹੀ ਆ। ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੀ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਬਾਈ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨਵਾਦ, ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਬਾਈ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਯਾਰ ਬਾਈ ਫਿਲਮ ਤੇ, ਔਰ ਫਿਲਮ ਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਸੀ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਯਾਦ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਾਜ 'ਚ ਜਾਂ ਸ਼ੋਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਰੇ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਗਾਣੇ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਆ, ਠੀਕ ਸੀ। ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਯਾਰ ਫਿਲਮ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, ਫਿਲਮ ਆਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੈਂ ਘੰਟਾ 2 ਘੰਟਾ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਯਾਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾੜਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਯਾਰ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ, ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। ਕਮਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਯਾਰ। ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਗੱਲ ਤੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਰਿਲੀਫ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਫਾਈਨਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆ ਫਿਲਮ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੁਕ ਸਕਦੀ। ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੋਕ ਸਕਦੇ।
Right. You heard Diljit Dosanjh. Obviously, he says that all that is depicted in the film is actually a fact. The case went to the CBI, and there were convictions, and all of that is shown in the film. Why should the film be muted? Why should be taken down? That's what he says. But do you think that film based on real and painful chapters of history help society to confront the past, or do they risk reopening old wounds?
See, that's what I said at the very outset.
Yeah.
Again, it is a generational gap. The younger generation don't feel like the way we feel it. So I feel that what Daljit is saying, he is saying standing his own shoes. We both are talking having experience. I am also talking from one other shoe where I have handled all this and I have grown up with this. And I want to say once more to the government and whichever agency has stopped it or recommended to the government to stop it. I honestly, very sincerely, without being biased, want to say it is not a very well informed call. Nothing would change if our younger generation, through docu-series, through such films, know about the aberrations of 19th or 20th century. Nothing is going to happen. Above all, I love my country, and my younger generation, whom we call Zen or Gen Z, or the people who are below 40, they are very loyal to the nation. I know their feelings. Nobody can influence them. Just one film can't do it. And I want to say, a nation that has confidence to confront terrorism, organized crime, external threats should also have the confidence to allow its citizens to watch a film and form their own judgment. And this is how democratic societies grow stronger. And through well informed debate, we shall not hold history from the next generation, because I, having being the history student, having read history in detail, I would say the biggest lessons we learn is from the history itself.
Right. While you are speaking, I'm reminded of World War II, what happened in Germany, and how they confronted their own painful past after the war was over. And they have been dealing it with since then. It is not that they have brushed it under the carpet, they just confronted it, and tried to find means to avoid such a catastrophe from happening in the future. But as you were saying that you led the police force in Punjab, for viewers too young to remember 80s and 90s, how would you describe the security situation in Punjab at the height of the insurgency and militancy?
See, no, there is no doubt about that. That state police continuously 24/7 handles internal security, and Punjab is not Madhya Pradesh or any other state away from Pakistan. We are a border state, and I can say on very firmly, having knowledge about it, that the establishment in Pakistan, whether it is their government or their military or their intelligence, they have been regularly making efforts to cause one or the other deep stabilizing issues in Punjab. That include terrorism, that include drugs, that includes support to organized criminals. But I feel with the 10,000 crore budget of the state police, 80,000 manpower, very well trained, very well equipped. I have the full confidence in state police that even if Pakistan or any other powerful nation sporting, like as we saw in Sindoor, that China was sporting, nothing they can do to cause a great chaos again in this state. Yes, as far as incidents of terrorism are concerned, if it can happen in Delhi, it can happen in Punjab, it can occur in any other state. But state of Punjab is very well prepared. So, under these circumstances in this 2026, I agree with Daljit, not by what he has said, being on the side of him, but having a fair knowledge of it. I want to say, Government of India shall also conduct itself in a mature, secure manner. We are saying we are a very powerful nation. We are economically stable nation. Not only we are saying, we have really grown also like anything. Let us not an artistic work be curbed just to get rid of the discourse or discussion on social media or in the drawing rooms or any other forums, because that is undemocratic.
I was trying to make a larger point that Punjab police is, of course, credited with defeating one of India's deadliest insurgencies, militancies in Punjab. At the same time, there are these allegations of excesses. Can both narratives exist simultaneously in a democratic society like India after so many years?
I want to be, I'm very sure about this. That is why I have divided this discussion in two parts. What happened in 80s and where we are now in 21st century. There is no doubt about that. I don't need to say it. I know it. There were multiple cases handled by courts. There were trials and there are convictions of police officers based on evidence that there was excesses, there were extrajudicial killings. Yes, what has happened in the 80s and 90s in Punjab is very painful. It is troubling, but now we are not prepared to face similar situations. The younger generation, not only the six, I am again saying that Gen Z is very well connected to each other. Now they don't get manipulated by religious orthodoxy. They see their nation, country, Bharat, India as one, and they want to work for the nation. So no, it's not easy to manipulate even the Punjabis who are living in Punjab. There may be some scenes visible in Canada or UK or in other nations where some agencies try to prop up one or the other thing. To your viewers, I want to say one more thing based on this discussion only. That once upon a time when Member Parliamentarian Simranjit Singh Maan used to say Khalistan Jindabad, we would register cases against him. Slowly, the matter went up to the Honorable Supreme Court, and it said just raising slogans of Khalistan Jindabad is of no, it's not an offense till you wage war against the country. So now, when Simranjit Singh Maan go to every gathering or congregation, he raises those slogans and we don't do anything. Similarly, we need to understand that I am Punjab of 21st century in year 2026, and I know state police. Similarly, I know my nation, how powerful it is. If government of India is being advised against taking off this movie, I still feel it is not application of mind properly, and government is totally depending upon structured inputs. And if you want to have a good governance, any government who just depends upon structured intelligence inputs always fails or takes decisions which are not very well respected in the among the population or among the masses.
Right. As I was saying that you have been, you have led the police force in Punjab. Looking back, was there enormous pressure on police to produce results, quick results during those counterinsurgency campaigns at the height of militancy?
Yes, I don't have to say no to it. There was total pressure on state police to give results. And this is visible. Those acquired characters are still visible in Punjab police even now. You will find there is a narrative or narration going on still that state police still indulges in encounters, etc., etc. I don't want to go into academic discussion, but
Right.
I want to show there was pressure, and those acquired characters still prevail in state police, where instead of dealing professionally with the organized criminals or other things, we again want to give policing which is performance oriented, result oriented. And sometimes when we fail or we face incidents of organized crime, we react it differently. We need to disconnect ourselves from 80s, and state police also need to disconnect from the characteristics which they acquired from 80s, and now they should move on more professionally, and they should do policing which is evidence based, and all extrajudicial reasons to deal with organized crime shall vanish.
Have any lessons been learned because Khalra's investigations relied on municipal cremation records and the findings attracted attention? Uh, do you think it has triggered some introspection in the police force?
See, again, I am saying, I am I I was part of the same police force for which whom I am talking, and for which I am talking against also.
Right.
And I am talking in a very well reasoned manner. We need to improve. We need to become a professional police.
Yeah.
We pick up constitution and say we are, this is our umbrella. We need to protect our constitution. But if state police itself or polices across the country are, instead of behaving like in a professional manner, are discrediting discrediting the constitution, it shall not be allowed. Therefore, I want to repeat myself for your views that we shall not take everything which is beyond the judicial scrutiny. And therefore, the duty of the police is to bring in record the organized criminal or the crime, do the investigation in a very scientific, professional manner, and bring the evidence, oral material, scientific, before the honorable court or the trial court, and let the courts take the call. So this is very important for a democracy which is now propagating itself to be fourth largest or fifth largest economy and world's biggest democracy. We need to improve upon this. Till we do it, we will be exploited or manipulated by one or the other enemy, including the Pakistan establishment. I always say Pakistan establishment. I don't say Pakistan Awam, because Pakistani Awam themselves is suffering from their own military and government.
Right. And now that this issue has come up, there's already politics. The Aam Aadmi Party is blaming the BJP for the removal of the film. Different parties have a different point of view. The government is also, according to reports, which quote sources, saying that there are security concerns. Lots of views are being exchanged on this. The removal of Satluj has arguably generated even more public interest in the film. Lastly, do you think such restrictions sometimes produce the opposite effect at all? You know, the effect that is desired by blocking the film, the impact is quite the opposite.
I totally agree. And this is what the authorities, the competent authorities, whether in state or in MHA, need to understand that in present day world, based where social media is more powerful than print media or electronic media, blocking such movies, rather we have a mentality like Punjab, like a state which forgot 1947, where 1 million people were killed on both sides. We also have the nature to go beyond it, although we don't allow it to be forgiven, but we do forget to move on. Therefore, I think this has helped, this blockade has helped rather more talk about Khalda or whatever happened then, or extrajudicial killings or excesses. Then, if it has been allowed to proceed normally, it would not have got this much of attention. Now, if this attention will be beneficial or not, time will tell. But I want to just say one thing more. If we lost in 1947 1 million people in Punjab and then brutalization, it is not very old. If in 80s we lost so many people on both sides, whether it is police or militants or terrorists or the civilians, we have still moved on. This government need to understand, till there is a valid threat. And when I call, if I am in MHA or I am the state head of the force anywhere, not in Punjab itself, I would directly say to the government, don't worry, we will take care. We are a powerful nation. Our generation very well knows how to handle diverse emotional aberrations. And they are more powerful because they are exposed to daily. Have you ever seen this thing happening in Europe, UK, or Russia, or America, that they will block docu-series or the films at the free will? I think it is again lack of confidence, which this kind of government shall not have. Instead of listening to anybody else, government says, okay, go ahead. We will not block whether it is some docu-series on organized criminals or this movie. If something arises, we have the resources. We are fully powerful enough to handle a situation. And I tell you, nothing will happen.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today and for sharing your thoughts. That was ADGP Gurinder Dillon talking to us and discussing this issue. We will keep a track of this story. Thanks to our viewers for tuning in and for watching the Mojo story. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Zafar.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.